Hello, my name is Stephen Anti and welcome to Joy News Exclusive. Today we are interrogating the fourth component of government's e-government project funded by the World Bank. That fourth component is called the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information Systems, which is called GIFMIS. Technically, the GIFMIS is a software application, Oracle-based, which is expected to be the single account source for all government transactions. What it's expected to do is promote transparency and accountability. So today on Joy News Exclusive, we are digging into what exactly it is. Stay with us. We'll take your comments later on the show on Facebook, and we'll interact with some officials from the Secretariat. The Ghana Integrated Financial Management System, acronym GIFMIS, is the fourth component of the e-Ghana project funded by the World Bank to help improve efficiency and transparency of selected government functions through e-government applications. Full implementation by the second quarter of 2014 will cost $28.44 million. So what is it and what is it expected to achieve?
In Ghana, we have a very vibrant parliament. We have a very vibrant civil society, including even our community leaders who now are asking the hard questions. And this is something that has been there in the past. And every government, I would say worldwide, would want to work and position themselves to be able to answer questions when stakeholders, especially the citizens, ask questions about the use of resources. So governments all over the world are working to position themselves in terms of systems they want to put in place, in terms of structures, in terms of people they want to develop, to be able to answer those questions, to be able to account to the citizenry on the use of national resources. In Ghana, government, through Ministry of Finance and Control and Accountant General, as you rightly said, initiated a number of public financial management reforms to be able to play that accountability role. And one component of that reform is the GIFMIS. And what do we mean by GIFMIS? The GIFMIS is an acronym for Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System. So it's financial, it's integrated, it's to do with management of information that you have. And the GIFMIS, I would say that it's an ICT-based, current times, everybody is using ICT to drive their business processes, to be able to generate reports to stakeholders. Again, it is integrated. When we say it's integrated, what do we give? This is integrated. What do we mean by that? Integrated in the sense that you have a system where you have a common database on all your financial management information, where you can pull reports, whether it's on budget, whether it's on accounting, to be able to do report to stakeholders, as well as do your own auditing and do your own monitoring, and also help in decision making. So GIFMIS is then that the e-government project, and it's funded with a pool fund from the World Bank, DFID, EU, and Danida. And overall, let's say the overarching objective of the GIFMIS is to improve the effectiveness of service delivery and the allocation of scarce resources.
This overarching objective you just told us about was premised or is premised on the fact that there is a unique problem or challenge with our financial management system. Is that what it is?
Yes, unique in the sense that, you can always get it better. Yes, years ago we had some processes or systems that we use for budgeting. We had some systems that we use for accounting, reporting, and all that. Over time, you realize that those systems have become obsolete. And they also were largely manual. And we are moving ICT, and therefore there's the need to get the new system, new improved systems that can help you manage your resources, and therefore in the process improve service delivery. And also not only just improving service delivery, It's also helped you in allocation of scarce resources. As you have a very good financial management information system, you know where the expenditures are. As you generate reports in the past, it tells you whether that's the priority areas you want to be going into.
The eGhana project consists of components 1, 2, 3, and 4. Component 4 is to bring all government finances onto one platform, GIFMIS, as well as transition to a full treasury single account for all government funds. This is to enable fuller reporting on all fund sources and users, and at the same time reduce the cost of domestic borrowing for the government of Ghana. Why is this necessary at all?
I think as a nation, we have got to a stage where we need to really marshal all resources and do things right, the way the country, other developed countries do it. And as a country, we said we are in the middle income nation. Most of the time, concerns come from the public and even the general spectrum of governance, just because if information is not there, then people begin to make noise. If transparency is not there, people begin to raise concerns. What GIFMIS seeks to do is to put up a platform, more or less a vehicle, a chain, where government resources will be routed through. And it's said that it had blocked all holes, put in systems, control, checks, said that at the end of the day, the resources government put in will get to the intended beneficiaries. And again, not just getting to them, when they are using the resources, the system will process your information for you. When you finish using the resource, the system will now account for the money you have used for you and produce reports. That shows that, yes, I received so much from government, I used them for this purpose, and now there is the report of using the money. So that is the vehicle GIFMIS is producing for us. And again, maybe from the other discussions, we've realized that government systems start right from the budget preparation, budget execution, budget reporting, and financial reporting. All these vehicles, government GIFMIS is starting right from the budget preparation to the end. Again, you are talking about transparency and accountability. This platform is also providing a more systemic flow for the Auditor General to also even go through the whole system. So the system is running. Auditor General can also at any point in time through their audits go through the system and ensure that whatever resource government give it to any particular individual organization has effectively been used. GIFMIS once is very transparent, smooth, government resources pass through, and everybody knows where the resources are going, and everybody knows how the resources have been accounted for. I think a lot of these challenges will be removed.
Right.
Yeah.
Training of end users of the GIFMIS system takes place here at the GIFMIS Secretariat on the second floor of the Ghana News Agency building.
We've designed this lab or set it up purposely to meet any training need that will come up instantaneously. End users, like we saw at Ministry of Local Government, that the FC could be transferred tomorrow.
Okay.
Whoever will take over from him will need to be trained.
Okay.
So we quickly call you to come over here. Then we need to train a group of people who have a special need. So bring them here to train and any other training. We have similar setups at Dansoma. 3 of these labs are located at Dansoma Staff Development Center of the Controller and Accountant General Department. One is also at Ghana Audit Service. Then we have another one at Pensions Annex, CAGD Annex at near Novotel. So that's one other lab. So in addition to these ones, we have set up what we call transaction processing centers across MDAs, where we have network connectivity.
Okay.
So that whoever wouldn't have direct access to the system can go to the center to process transactions. The good thing is, GIFMIS, you don't need to, even if your system is down, in your office location, you can come to this lab and process transactions. So we are moving towards a situation where we have to do government business independent of location.
Okay.
Wherever you are, the system is there. So as we speak, the 10 regional capitals have this
type of
facilities.
I see.
And then 7 MMDAs also have the same thing.
All right, so that's good.
So definitely a new system will require us to have a system where we respond to concerns, issues that come up. So this office has been set up. We have 3 officers handling the help desk, and we have a software that we use to log all the calls that come. Okay. And we track to be sure that the issues brought up have been addressed, even with the time frame. So on daily basis, we get a report from the help desk.
All right. So can we go here?
Why not? So we talk to.
And hello. Nice to meet you. I know you're busy right now this time of afternoon, but we are getting to learn about the GIFMIS application. And how often do you get people complaining to you about specific challenges which you need to address?
We record about 25 to 30 issues in a day, and some are need instant answers. Others need, let's say, over a day or 2 to be solved.
Okay. All right. So what kind of complaints are these?
We have supplier setups that the trading partners that the various ministries and MDAs deal with. They need to be set up on the system. We need, they also request for password overwritings. Some bosses might have forgotten their passwords, so we need to overwrite them on the system. We also deal with approval hierarchy setups. New organizations are coming on board. They have their hierarchies, and we have to set them up on the system as well. That takes, it could take a day depending on the strength of the hierarchy. If we have a whole lot of people on board, it takes a long time.
There are authorization processes in order to be sure that you are able to correctly set the hierarchy. So who gives you the approval to do that?
Usually we have advocates and then train the trainers for the various ministries and then the departments and agencies. So they link them up to us. They give the hierarchies, they bring it to us either through mails, they enter here, they call us, but usually we prefer a signed document by your boss, and then we will work on it. We have the preparers for either the purchase orders or the requisitions. We have the preparers as well for invoices, and then we have the approvers. So this is the process that it runs through.
So how would this be used in preparing the budget, for example?
No, you know, we relaunched the GIFMIS system in 2009, started the development in 2010, and then started using the system in 2012. Okay. So in terms of the budgeting, we're not using the GIFMIS as such for budget execution.
Not even 2012, not 2013, not 2014?
No, I'm breaking that because the tool used to develop the budget is not yet ready.
Okay.
Even though it's part of the GIFMIS. But progress has been made to procure that software, which is another software, another software, Oracle software, to do that budget, development. But there are other legacy systems like Activate. We have other legacy systems that we've been using to develop the budget. And from there, we load it onto the system. So yes, even though the system we use now to develop the budget is not part of the GIFMIS as a project, in terms of the whole system, we do have a software on which we use to develop, the budget. What we do now, we develop the budget in another system, which is outside of GIFMIS.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we pull that data and load onto GIFMIS. It's fraught with problems, with challenges, because that's a different system.
Okay.
But where you have a budgeting tool, which I think we are quite advanced in procuring to set up for the purpose. If you have that software, then it's seamless. The process is seamless. You don't have to load data from one to the other. You do your budget in that software, and it becomes an integral part of it without any human intervention in terms of loading data from one end to the other.
Ghana government has a unique problem of budget overlays which creates deficit problems for the country. So I asked the acting controller and accountant general whether with the GIFMIS system such overlays could be eliminated.
If you look at the system point of view, it should be eliminated. But it's the I mean, it's a human system. It's a human system. So the way that I'm sure as they provide the details, they will let you know how the system is structured such that if you don't have a budget for your program, the system cannot process your transactions. And therefore, it's going to exercise strict budgetary control. They say computer, what you put in is what you get out. So if we're saying that system, don't allow anybody to execute a transaction on the system without a budget. And of course, that's how we set up the system. The system will not allow you. So in answer to your question, yes, technically, it should eliminate budgetary,
overruns.
Budget overrun, And it will also help in monitoring of expenditures. Heads of MDAs will now be able to generate reports as to how their budget, they are running their budget, how the expenditures are like as against the budget, and therefore help the manager in management of their resources.
Corruption in the public service has been a major issue for several governments over the years. Project Director of GIFMIS tells me he's confident the full implementation of GIFMIS will eliminate public sector corruption outright.
As I indicated, GIFMIS is just a vehicle.
Just a vehicle.
So at the end of the day, all that GIFMIS is going to do is that once government put resource onto our platform, the system will control, there are controls in it. If you don't have a budget, you can't spend your money. If money has not been appropriated to you, you can't spend it using the system. At the end of the day, whoever you are paying the resource to, the information and everything is captured by the system. At the end of the day, once you have used the money, the system will actually tell you how you use the money. So with all this information, dubious ways or loopholes where people can easily plug holes in doing some applications that are not appropriately budgeted for will be eliminated. And as I always indicate, once information from financial reporting is getting to the people, if you look at these public accounts and all that, a lot of the challenges we are facing now is because financial information reporting are not there. So at the end of the day, you go through and people have challenges. I find it very difficult to believe what is going on. But once the reports are there, the detailed information are there, you can have the audit trail through the system to justify why you paid A, B, or C. Then at least it gives credence to the management of the resource that has been given to any particular organization.
Welcome back to the studio. This is Joy News Exclusive, and you can post your comments on our Facebook or facebook.com/Joy News, and we'll read it for the whole world to hear your views on this. I have with me in the studio both the director of GIFMIS and the deputy director of GIFMIS. Right here is Hayford Ba Adade and then Mark Effort Adade. Your names sound very familiar. Are you related or something?
I'm not related.
Not related. Such coincidence. So let me start with you, Mr. Ba Adade. We've heard you speak a lot about the project, but the critical thing perhaps Ghanaians want to get to understand is that, I mean, after several years of operating a manual system of processing government transactions and payments and what have you, how come that it is now time to start going electronic? Why didn't we do this earlier?
As in every situation, every system, you grow. You start from somewhere and you end somewhere. So generally, you start with a manual system, be very conversant with the manual system. At a certain stage, it becomes very easy to have base information, and you move on to electronic, and you make it a bit smoother and also very convenient. Yeah.
I'll read some of our comments, but some of the Facebook comments that have come in suggest that perhaps this is a system which maybe I should just read. One of our viewers sent a message and said that this is a good idea, but this Good. Obed also says, it sounds good, but deep down I feel bad about this. It sounds to me like a system that will enable the World Bank control us in future. Such misconceptions, right?
Total misconception. Totally. Because there is not a project for the World Bank. There is a project for the government of Ghana. Government of Ghana have borrowed resources to implement this. The essence of it is to provide a smooth platform for government to operate its financial management information system. So basically, it's for the people of Ghana.
It's for the people of Ghana. So let me come to you, Mark Efforts. I know you have been involved in training and things like that, and equipping public sector staff who have access to this GIFMIS application. Who has access to this system? Everybody or selected people?
All right, thank you very much. Good evening to the listeners and the viewers. Those who do government business have access to the GIFMIS. And by this, we're talking about directors of institutions, chief director, the spending officers, the accounts officers, the procurement officers, stores, treasury officers, auditors, both internal and external auditors, and all those who are collectively doing government business, they have the right to the system. So largely what you do manually is what you're now doing electronically on the GIFMIS platform.
I see. Right. And so it means that, for example, let's practicalize this. Yeah. If, for example, I provide services for government. Maybe I'm a contractor. Good. I am constructing a stretch of road from, let's say, Accra to Kaswa. Yeah. Do I, as the contractor, get access to this system?
All right. At the moment, no. You won't have access. As we have it, you're going to do business for government or render a service to the government or an MDA. So the processes that will engage you to execute the contract and get you paid are done through the GIFMIS platform. Where you'll be affected now is when it comes to payment. So we are implementing what we call the EFT, electronic funds transfer. So here, the money will now move from government account into your account direct. So this requires that you provide your bank account details to the MDA or the department you have rendered a service to be set up on the system, but you wouldn't have a direct access to the GIFMIS at this point. We know there are other reform initiatives that are coming up, which will even require people submitting their bid tender electronically. With this, you may be granted access to go and do this for evaluation purposes. We are aware the Public Procurement Authority has a plan to implement what we call the e-procurement. If these things are implemented, when they are implemented, we are sure everybody doing business with Ghana, government of Ghana, will also have interface with the system.
Epod, you mentioned in our interaction that this will promote transparency. Exactly. But transparency is among humans. I mean, I know that the system, when a system is in place to promote transparency, it's good, but it is humans who operate the system. How certain are we, I mean, as citizens of this country, that a system of this nature, when put in place, will really ensure transparency through change of attitudes of the workforce themselves?
Yeah, thank you very much. What is happening is that, with the computerized system, a lot of the manual system has actually been programmed and more or less eliminated from the system. For instance, once you win a contract to execute government business, the process of actually paying you involves very minimal human intervention. The budget for that contract has been put on the system. Now, when it comes to the time of payment, all that is required is that the institution apply to the Ministry of Finance. This contract has got to this stage, or we are finished. We want to pay. This the documentation of it. You put it in the system. Minister of Finance in his office will know this invoice has been put on the system. Funds are released. Accountant General process, give it to the MDA. All these processes, the contractor don't even need to be there. And as Mark was saying, even when they get to the time of payment, the payment will be effected electronically into your account. So you don't meet people to beg whether to pay me, not to pay
so
me.
Human interfaces are totally eliminated. Well, this is Joy News exclusive, and you're watching us live on Joy News on your multi-TV, and we're streaming live on the internet as well. I've got a couple of your messages here. I'll read a few, and then we'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue with the comments. I have Kulo Isa Ibn, who says, let's educate our women and we'll educate our nation. I don't know how that fits into our discussion. Christian Sabo says, well, that's a good idea. That will help us fight corruption in this country. This is fantastic. And Kulo Isa again says that this is the right step by the World Bank. I must say that this is a Government of Ghana project which is funded by the World Bank. So the World Bank does not own the system necessarily, although they're providing funding for this. And Whisperings Uche says, yes, so I love this system. I do hope that it promotes transparency. We'll take a break right here and we'll return for more. This is Joy News exclusive. Welcome back to our studios. This is Joy News exclusive. My name is Stephen Enti, and I'll quickly run through some of your comments, and then we'll take the second part of the documentary series on GIFMIS, ensuring financial accountability, and then I'll come back and have the discussion on this. I have here a comment from Nuruddin Mohammed Abdul Rahman. You say that I think it's a good idea because the government of John Dramani Mahama, all of them, they're corrupted. I can't read exactly what you're saying, but that's your view, Nuruddin. And Zilevu Gershon, you say that I quite remember one of Anas's revelation on the Ghana Customs, Excise and Preventive Service, SEPS. People were able to break this kind of system. How is this protected? This is a very critical question, which I'll put back to my guest when we return from the break. This is Joy News exclusive, and I'm still trying to load some of your comments. I beg your pardon. And in the meantime, I think we should take a break and then listen to the part 2 of the documentaries. And when we return, I'll take more of your comments. This is Joy News exclusive. In April and June this year, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, urged government to gain control over the wage bill and conduct a thorough audit of the public sector payroll. There are an estimated 500,000 workers on the payroll, but this number is believed to include a lot of fictitious or ghost workers. The Minister of Finance, at a recent Meet the Press with journalists, admitted the rising expenditure on the public wage bill is crowding out spending on capital goods and services, and that government's target is to cut the cost of the wage bill to 35% of tax revenue.
That's the plan. GIFMIS is integrated. We're doing it in stages.
Okay.
Right now, we've roped in the consolidated fund, the other items, goods and service investment is in that system. The next stage is to integrate the payroll into the GIFMIS system.
Okay.
And we have a program currently running where we're upgrading our payroll system. You know, the payroll system is on its own. GIFMIS
is on its own.
It's on its own. But we've initiated the process of we procure services for upgrade of the payroll, and then integrate it into the GIFMIS.
That is possible.
Yeah, we are doing that.
Okay,
we hope to.
That's fine.
Yeah, we hope to get to that complete that by end of December. The advantage that comes is the sense that you have the strict budgetary control over payroll as you have under capital. Investment budget as well as the goods and service. Currently, like I said, you set up the system. If you don't have budget for goods and service or investment, it will allow you. But because the payroll is outside, you cannot exercise that strict budgetary control. But when we integrate, the system will check for availability of budget before, the staff on that payroll are paid. And that is why we are putting the system in place, get a adequate budget for managers of the call centers, so that when we integrate, then you as the head of the department, you have to manage your payroll by the budget and explain why you are exceeding it.
So if I get it right, then it means that integrating the payroll system with the GIFMIS will be the surest way of kicking out ghost names, for example, right?
Not necessarily. The way it will handle is the sense that if there's a manager in your budget, every time you're looking at your payroll budget, and the actual cost is going up, and your budget is running out, you have to sit by and say, what is wrong with my payroll? And therefore, you want to ask, I mean, even though you do it routinely, you want to ask, who knows? It may come to a point that maybe a manager will take a hard decision that, look, I have 10 people, I need only 8. Are you getting me? So in that case, not necessarily, it will help also make heads of department be more interested in what is happening on the payroll, which they do now, but not effectively.
For any human institution, checks and balances are critical to ensure efficiency and sustenance. Does the GIFMIS system have sufficient checks and balances embedded into it?
The system has been configured by the technical people. We define the business processes, how we want to do business. That's how we define the processes on the system. We've done that. NITA by law is supposed to provide the wide area network for every MDA. But prior to that, as a controller, we initiated something on our own. But by the law, we now have to follow through with NITA. That one, yes, we are deploying using the network connectivity that we have. But as we'll be coming to see, we do have a challenge. That area of the work is dependent on NITA. And that area of the work is very critical because it's a system that we are deploying to the whole nation.
So if NITA does not deliver, you cannot deliver too?
Yes, technically. There are various checks and balances, not just the budgetary control. As I said, if you don't have a budget, you cannot execute. You also have managerial controls in that if you are not authorized to approve a transaction on the system, you cannot do anything on the system. For example, if you go to, let's say, a department, if the head of department is supposed to authorize a transaction, it's the same thing we are defined in the system. So you cannot just log on because you want to authorize transaction. So the checks and balance in the sense that if you don't have authority to be on the system, you can't be on the system. 2, if you don't have the authority to process something on the system, key in data, generate reports, do budget execution, you cannot do it on the system.
So these are checks.
So these are checks on the on the system. So yes, they are checks.
Our interaction with the acting controller and accountant general indicated that one of the places that the GIFMIS has been deployed is the local government ministry. So I'm here to speak to the financial controller at the local government ministry to get some more clarification about exactly how the use of the GIFMIS has changed things for him. Hello, sir.
Yes.
It's great. Thank you very much. My name is Stephen Anti.
Yes, I'm Victor Donko.
Good. I want to get a better understanding of how the GIFMIS application has changed things for you in terms of your work.
Actually, GIFMIS, as a Minister of Local Government, were one of the few MDAs that GIFMIS was piloted. So last year we went on live. As P2P, and I must tell you, generally it has improved dramatically the efficiency of the way we are doing things as a ministry. Work has become very faster, where now with the click of a button we can process things. Before, when an approval is made for a payment to be made, you realize that we have to go through raising of the draft voucher, somebody has to type it, go through a lot of processes. But now all these things have been. And for me, the reliability and the accuracy for the records that we keep is another tremendous improvement.
Okay, so is it possible you can take us through a couple of demonstrations so we can get a fair idea?
Yeah. Okay. This is a page yesterday evening. This invoice for payment, this is in the name of the chief director. So to know what that is, I'll just click here. This page is telling me that this is release of funds for an auditors who are going for a conference, we have to pay them certain allowance. So the check will be in the name of the chief director who released the cash. But give me the detail, the action day, the submit, the accounts payable, and everything. You see the details. So when I am okay, I come here
and click
approved.
Okay.
I may reject, I may reassign, and if I need further information, I may request for that. Before the accountant raises the invoice, there is an approved memo. The request is made and approved. That is manual. So the moment that is referred for him to raise the invoice. So that memo comes to me for him to. So if I find some inconsistency as to the amount that to be paid, it's not accurate, then I have to reject for him to do it. Exactly.
I see.
You understand?
So reject doesn't necessarily mean that you are totally questioning the payment, but
this particular one is rejected, which means that he has to start the process of requesting for a new over again. So, but in most instances, because it passes through here, I just review it if I'm okay. The moment I click approved, instantly it gets to the chief director, who also go through it and approve.
Transparency concerns over a system of this nature will always remain. But Victor Donko, financial controller at the Ministry of Local Government, believes the checks and balances in place are enough.
Whatever goes on, everybody gets to know, so that if you have not been paid, you know that probably funds have not come for yours to be paid.
Okay.
So it gives transparency, and it helps me for somebody to accuse that, oh, somebody is not paying me, because everything is transparent. You know that this is the process. You see, what I have to add is that before the accountant raises the invoice, you see, we have what we call the tax identification number and other particulars of the supplier, which is hid into the system. And therefore, it also helps us, those suppliers and contractors who are doing business with the government and were not paying taxes. This one, there's no way that we can process and pay any third party, because your tax identification indicating that you have registered will be in the system. And the system will automatically, when we apply the tax, it will deduct and pay to the
this cuts out corruption as well.
So it also helps. You can't tell me that we want to do government business, we don't have tax. That itself means that you can't even be set into the system. So it's now a requirement.
His boss, the acting chief director who recently appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to answer some public finance queries, shares a similar view.
Yeah, I think we all know the purpose of the gift miss, and I think it's all aimed at improving the public financial system, and then maybe to speed up things that we do in the offices.
Yeah.
So I think with this, it makes it easier and a bit faster, because you're able to communicate with your other colleagues, working on documents without necessarily interacting with them. But this is that maybe we need to have an understanding, knowing what things you are doing, to be sure that this is what I'm doing. And I think that's what the system is aimed at. And I think it's just good that it's been implemented in that direction.
And since you started using it in your approvals as the final approver here, what difference have you seen between the previous systems and the current system?
Oh, I think, like I'm saying, the speed is one. So that once the documentations are going through and it comes to your listen, everybody is concerned about what comes to and what is approved. So once things go through the system and it comes to you, you are sure that the necessary checks have been done and it comes to you. And so you also are sure that what you are doing will be in the best interest of the nation.
The future for financial accountability and transparency looks good when the GIFMIS system is fully operational.
What's the expectation of GIFMIS in the next 5 years?
In simple put, government will be able to produce a very sound, accountable financial management system as a nation. Good budgeting system, good revenue generating interface with the GIFMIS, good financial recording, good financial reporting, and very transparent financial management system. And I think this is what the masses and the public are looking for. through the GIFMIS, as we speak now, government has used the GIFMIS to prepare its 2012 financial report. And for the first time, within a matter of 2 months, the financial report of government was out. Again, as we are in, we just started October, the financial report of government for the month of July, from January to July, is ready. And it has been gazetted, and you can find it at the website of Controller Accountant General. Now, almost we are getting to a stage where month ending by the next month, 15th, government should be able to produce accounts, and that is what we are working to. And we are very sure that by the end of 2013, by ending of January, government financial report should be out, which to us is one of the things the Constitution mandates us to do.
Welcome back to the studio. This is Joy News Exclusive. I'm still here with Director of GIFMIS and his deputy, Hayford Ban Adade and Mark Effort Adade. So I'll quickly read some of the comments, and then we'll put them to the gentlemen, so they'll respond. Emmanuel Edujemfi, you say that although it's a laudable idea, I do not think this government can do better implementation of it. And Clement Yao Ado, you say, well, let's all accept it like that. There is no change because there's still corrupt people. The corrupt people will still be in charge. This is Haiti Segum Moisi. And Knight Marshall Bob says, with JDM in power, we can't fight corruption. Let's wait for 2016. I'll say, you say that forget this government. Corrupted people can't fight corruption. No, we want to fight corruption. We should start by developing the minds of all Ghanaians by educating them to change their attitudes. And Honorable Benny Young says, good idea, but we don't need any corrupt organizations to do the so-called party togetherness to one platform. I don't understand what you mean, Benny Young, but I guess that you're saying that pulling it together on one platform is needless. And Obed also, I've read your comment already. You say that it sounds like it's a good thing, but deep down I feel bad about it. It sounds to me like a system that will enable the World Bank to control us in future. And Michael Bobier says, thanks, because we are in deep crisis. Oklu Emmanuel says, people talk a lot. I beg your pardon, I can't read that comment. That's in bad taste. Max Billion Tichimenson says, how can corruption get raid-offs while government judgment manager is in power? I think that your comments some of them have been a bit away from the context we're discussing. And Ronald Yeboah Fineboy says, I think this electronic system will make things worse since there are a whole lot of scams in the world and fraudsters will find their way into the system. This is critical. I want to put this to you before we continue. So it's about that you could address that. Ronald says that I think this electronic system will make things worse since there are a whole lot of scams in the world and fraudsters will find their way into the system and manipulate it to suit them. How safe or safeguarded is this system against such things?
You know, in every system, when you are developing a very comprehensive system like this, one thing you bring in mind is that we don't just go in just for going stage. You look at all these security measures and what is going out there in other countries who are implementing similar systems. And fortunately for GIFMIS, one thing we can say is that every stage that we are implementing this, we have quality assurance involving both the Auditor General, and even private sector institutions like Pricewaterhouse, Ernst & Young, KPMG. They are all implementing or supporting aspects of the project implementation. So it's not something that we are not aware of, and we are making sure that at every stage we move, we ensure quality assurance and we make sure all the things that are needed
are in place. And Mark Effort, I will quickly refer to the gentleman whose comment touched on the World Bank controlling as blah, blah, blah. And perhaps I'm thinking there could be other financiers or sponsors to this program apart from government of Ghana. Can you just clarify those ones for us?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the World Bank, we are actually running a pool fund for the GIFMIS. World Bank is a pool fund.
Okay.
The donors came together to pool their resources to support the project. And we are referring to the World Bank, the DFID, the NIDA, the EU. These are the donor partners who put their resources or their monies together to support the GIFMIS project. So it's not only a World Bank, it's not an all World Bank project.
Or World Bank exclusive project. Great.
So they are contributing the bigger chunk
of it. So I'm still talking on the issue of the safety and security. I do know after the following the series of documentaries we've done on the first component, second component, and the establishment of the network and NATA and the plans to create ICT hubs and villages, that NATA exclusively is developing the network which will be dependent. This will be dependent on. I mean, I need a little clarification on where NATA comes in, and then where you come in as well, where your system will sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, NATA has the national responsibility to deploy the internet or network connectivity infrastructure across the country, from national, regional to the district level. And fortunately, GIFMIS is not an internet-based system; it's an intranet.
Great.
And NATA deploys the infrastructure upon which GIFMIS is rolled out.
So it does mean, let me cut you there, it means that if it is not an internet-based application, the threats of cyber fraud is not as pronounced or as intense as it is for intranet. Intranet is intranet-based.
Even with this, we have security or monitoring system. Everybody doing something on the GIFMIS.
I see.
We have a way of monitoring. So even if you want to pass through NATA to get to us, we'll get to know. And we are also fortifying the security front. We are still implementing measures to strengthen our security front in there. Even if somebody breaks through NATA, you can have access to us.
Right. So we don't have a lot of time, but your last comment, KB, says that this software is being controlled by corrupt men. I think this is a grossly misrepresented assertion of the situation. You don't have any reason to believe that those who manage this infrastructure are corrupt people. So, Hayford, I'll give you the closing remarks. I have just about 30 seconds to wrap. Should Ghanaians be expectant that when the GIFMIS system is fully operational, we will see evidence and signs of financial accountability and responsiveness from governments?
Absolutely. And that is the essence of this GIFMIS implementation. We are gradually moving away from this manual system that is bringing these some of the comments that is bringing. The essence of this GIFMIS is to remove a lot of the human interventions, computerize it, make the system flow. And once that is done, I think within the nearest future, Ghanaians will see the benefit and the essence of well-improved public sector financial management.
Well-improved public sector finances. Mark Effort, your final words.
Well, I would just say thank you to all stakeholders who have been so supportive towards this GIFMIS, from the donor partners, our political figures, the heads of institutions, all end users. The level of cooperation and commitment and goodwill they've exhibited towards this GIFMIS is wonderful. We just appeal to them to continue with this so that at the end of the day, Mother Ghana will have something wonderful by way of public financial management too. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm also looking forward to that day when Ghana as a country will have a very efficient financial management system. My name is Stephen Enti, and I do hope that we've been able to educate you on what perhaps may have appeared a little bit technical with all the ICT terms, but we tried to simplify. This has been Joy News Exclusive.